Hello, everybody. It is week 4 already. We are entering. Football season's really picked up steam. You know, we're starting to see what the potential playoffs might look like. In my opinion, these next 3 weeks, by week 8, we should have a good idea about who's going to be in the playoffs and who's going to be out. Um, I'm going to judge it based on like what teams they're playing, because obviously there are some teams that are better than others. Some 3-1 teams that are better than others. Hell, there's probably 2-2, 1-3 teams that are better than some 3-1 teams. It's all about strength of opponent and luck. Of course, it takes a lot of effort to beat any football team in the NFL, but some wins are better than others, and that's just a fact. First things first, let's talk about the Bears versus the Lions. Justin fucking Fields went off. Finally, it was a good win. Personally, I know a lot of people wanted Nagy fired, but I think giving up play calling is a compromise I'm willing to accept. Got the win. That win was huge for Justin Fields' confidence and just ability as an athlete. That's what we needed as a team, and we got it. And after after last week's game, um, my expectations of this team were at all-time low. I actually thought we would lose this game, and part of the fan base wanted them. They were actively rooting. Um, but I was proven wrong. New hope. Do I think we're gonna go like 12-5 or 13-4 now? No, we beat the Lions. We have a really tough schedule in which I think at most we have to squeeze out 2 out of the next 6 wins. Maybe. I can see us beating like the Steelers, maybe upset the Packers. We're gonna probably lose the next few games, but I can see us winning 1 or 2. But right now, I'm just gonna enjoy the win. We beat the Lions. Fields went off. I want to show you some of my favorite plays right here. Here we got Fields. Clean throw. Right there, clean throw. Then, of course, we got good throw right there. This is one of my favorite throws. Clean, plenty of time to throw, good blocking. Amazing catch by 11. It was a little overthrown, but it was still a great pass and catch. And this would lead us to, of course, the touchdown. Then we got this amazing dime right here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. He throws it. Just perfect. We didn't have those explosive plays uh, last season. They were few and far between, if any. This entire offense looked totally different than last week, and I'm really open for that. Do I think we're gonna be beat like every team? No, but we will beat some teams with this offense. Some teams that may even be better than us. That was just a great not catch. Another great catch rate, a great throw. 3rd and 4, and look at his ability. He just scrambles. That is another great elite ability for Fields. Now, I don't really like these type of plays. I never really liked screen type stuff that much. His only mistake was that one interception, but that was a tip ball, so it wasn't really his fault. Another great catch. See? Another great catch by Fields. This is towards the end of the game. 7:21. It's a clean catch. Another great catch by A-Rob. That led us to our field goal. That made it a 2-possession game. Great plays, all in all. Just great plays. I'm really impressed by Fields. That was a great confidence booster for the entire fan base. A bit of season is entirely lost. It is the Lions after all, so it's not like we beat The Super Bowl champs or the Cardinals or Rams or you know, we did beat the Bengals. They're 3-1 right now, so um, we have beat winning teams. But I think the next few games are going to decide if this team's legit or not. Personally, I don't think we're not going to make the playoffs this season, but I hope I'm wrong. Amazing game by Fields and the Bears. Just outright amazing. Laser, keep calling plays for the rest of the season, please. Thank you. Next up, let's talk about Thursday. The Jaguars might go winless. Bengals 3-1. Of course, their one loss coming from the Bears. Surprisingly good Thursday night matchup, and that doesn't happen often because Thursday night matchups usually suck. They usually do. But I was actually entertained by this on Thursday. I enjoyed watching it. It was a close game. Came down to the wire after that field goal. Um, it was a good game. I really enjoyed it. Um, Bengals offense looks good. They might be a dark horse playoff contender. But I'm gonna see what they do against the Packers next week. If they can beat the Packers, then I'll be surprised. Because clearly they're better than the Steelers. I don't know what the hell happened to the Steelers in the offseason, but um, I don't think they're gonna go above 500. It's rough for them. Next up, Titans at the Jets. This was a rough game. Um, I kind of like ties, not when the Bears are playing, but I just find them interesting. It's like how they mess with the stats and how rare they are. Same thing with safeties. Um, yeah, ties are boring. No one really likes them, but they're interesting when other teams. Uh, I love that seeing that 0-3-1, the 3 record type thing. It's weird. That's why I like it. But the Titans, they had a 48, 49-yard field goal. That would have made it a tie game because it was like 10 seconds left. But they missed it, and the Jets get their first win of the season. For the way they've been playing, it's going to be one of few. Probably count it on my hands. Um, if I were the Jets, I'd do what the Jags did and win like 1 or 2 games and get guaranteed a first round pick. But with the way the Jags are playing, they might go winless. So until the Jags get a win, I wouldn't feel safe going for another one. But players aren't paid to tank, so that's not in their control. Next up, but yeah, good, congrats Jets. You got the dub. Next up, Colts at Dolphins. Um, Colts and Dolphins. It was a surprising game. The Colts got their first win of the season. A lot of unwin teams got their first dub this week. Colts just looked at the better team. The Dolphins, they're 1-3 right now. They lost Tua. I, this might be a regression year for them, but I still think the Dolphins are going to be a good team this decade. Had a lot of promise last year. They got their quarterback. It might take a while to develop him, like all rookie quarterbacks, but I think they got their guy. It's a tough loss to the Colts. Didn't really get to catch this game, but keep your head up, Dolphins. I like the Dolphins, so I think they'll rebound. Next up, got the Bills at the Texans. My God, this was a massacre. The Bills, they lost to the Steelers a couple weeks back, and um, they went on a mission. They've outscored their opponents like 120-21. 2 shutouts. The only time the other opponent scored was, I think, obviously the 21 points in week 3. Just wow, the Bills they really fucked their opponent up. 40-0. I don't think I've ever really seen that score before. I'm actually gonna have to check. Let's check for scoregami. Oh, Uh, so what? 40-0 was the last time that happened. Review all 4 games. 2017 Ravens at 40-0. Huh. Well, scoregami did not happen. This week. I'll start checking for that. Starting now. I'll do scoregami for every week. That's interesting. But yeah, great win. Buffalo's legit. I think they're Super Bowl favorites right now. They're just dominating. Like holy shit. They might do an opposite of the Jags where they lose the first game and then they just go like 16-1 or 15-2 or something. Next up, Baltimore Ravens at Broncos. I predicted this. Broncos got 3 wins, which congrats. You started 3-0. That's good. But you played a real team. Um, it wasn't a total blowout. 23-7 isn't exactly what I'll call a blowout, but it wasn't pretty. That was a rough game for the Broncos. They only put up 1 touchdown. Um, yeah, that's rough. Rough game. But the Broncos will probably win a few more games. You won 3 straight. That takes skill. But the Ravens were the better team in pretty much every way, and they got the win. Now we're gonna move to Monday night. It's a game I just watched. Chargers kind of did what the Bears did almost against the Lions. They were up 21-0, just like how the Bears were up 21-0, and they let the Raiders run down for 2 quick touchdowns. And that lead was just evaporating. That is a very dangerous thing because all the momentum is very real in sports. Momentum can win you the game because you get 2 of those quick scores. Offense is energized, your defense is energized to get the ball back. It's very dangerous. So they did the right thing. They shut that down. They got that touchdown. Um, they managed to secure the win, but you let them back in it, and a lot of good teams and bad teams do that, and it it can give a lot of football fans a heart attack. And Bears gave me that when the Lions scored 14. I was like, oh fuck, because if you choke a game like that, you won't hear the end of it. You'll be like the next Falcons for the next few weeks. As for Falcons fans, they're used to it, so they're kind of immune. Next up, the Chiefs at the Eagles. The Chiefs needed a good bounce back game. Eagles, well, they're a bad team, but nevertheless, a win's a win. They dominated the the Chiefs dominated the Eagles the entire game. Um, it pretty much ended 42-23 with a garbage time touchdown with like a minute left, like a few seconds left or something. I like garbage time touchdowns; they're entertaining. Um, Chiefs, I don't think they're gonna go back to the Super Bowl. I'm glad to hear Reed is nice and healthy and okay. Um, recover soon, Mr. Reed. Wish you well. Good win, Chiefs. Next up, we got the Browns and the Vikings. Good job, Browns. After embarrassing us and giving the Bears probably the worst loss in a very long time, which is a massive wake-up call to us. Thank you for that. Oh, sorry, my mic muted. You took out the hated Vikings. Not as bad as Packer. No, actually, no, they're worse than Packer fans. I don't like the Vikings. Um, it's a boring game though. Um, they got close to tying it up. But the Browns defense came in clutch. Uh, Vikings got 1 touchdown in the beginning. Then the Browns scored another touchdown, I think, in the second quarter, and then one to get the lead. It was a low-scoring game, very low scoring. Um, I'm not a big fan of those games. I'm an offense guy. I love offense, but when defense, I also like, but dominant defense, like pick sixes, fumbles, sacks. I don't like the slugfest games where it ends like 10-7, 14-7, 6-3. It can get boring. Yeah. Go win, Browns. Next up, the Packers versus the Steelers. I think I picked the Packers to win this game after the way the Steelers have been playing. The Steelers got that touchdown in the touchdown in the opening drive, and after that it was all Packers. They dominated pretty much the entire game. Um, There's that bullshit call, which probably could have turned the tide. Packers could have been 2-2 right now if it weren't for that call at the end of the half with the kick. But we'll never know. They probably still would have won. Packers are just a better team. But Packers are 3-1. Steelers are 1-3. It's a rough start. Um, Packers, they're kind of like in opposite situations. The Steelers had a big win week 1 against the Bills, and then it's been all downhill since then. But with the Packers, as much as I hate to admit it, they had the worst loss uh, in the entire NFL week 1, at least of that week. Worst loss, 38-3, and that seems to be all uphill. Um, they'll still probably lose games though. They're not gonna go 16-1. But yeah. Next up, one of the most anticipated games in a very long time, the return. Those commercials of Adele and Brady coming back to Foxborough. It was. I didn't really catch the game because I was really tired on Sunday, and I pretty much kept drifting in and out in sleep. Like I would put my head on the pillow in the third quarter, wake up. It's 5 minutes left in the fourth. Patriots tried to kick it. They doinked. Brady wins, and he spends 5 minutes hugging every player on the Patriots offense and defense and staff. Um, it was wholesome. I expected a lot more scoring, like high scoring. But it is what it is, It is what it is. The Buccaneers get the dub. It wasn't pretty. It was an ugly game. Patriots led for a while. But it doesn't matter if you win ugly 17 times or win pretty 17 times. A win's a win. It doesn't matter. But I much prefer pretty wins. But got the job done. Good job. Next up, the Saints. This was an upset I don't think anybody saw coming. Giants winning in overtime. It was, wow, I didn't see that coming at all. I thought the Saints were going to run away with this game and blow them out. But Giants and the Jets both win in overtime on the same day. Um, I don't know if that's ever happened before, but that's pretty cool. So, congrats, Giants. Good win. You outplayed the Saints today. Um, Congrats. You got that win. So, people can't be like, oh, you're going to go 0-17. You got a dub, and they can't take that away from you. Congrats. Now I've got the Panthers, the Cowboys. I expected the Panthers to actually win this one. Cowboys pleasantly surprised me. I think they actually might be, contender there, up in front for the NFC East race, and one of those teams has to make the playoffs. Every division has a playoff team. Doesn't matter if they go 16-0 or 3-13. That's the lowest a playoff team actually can go because of tiebreakers and divisional games. 3-13. But the team has to make the playoffs. So it might be the Cowboys. Well, I think they'll do far in the playoffs. No, but they might make it. So congrats, Cowboys. You blew them out pretty much. The final score doesn't reflect. They ran away with this one. Then Panthers threw up some garbage time points. Bears and Lions. Talked about that. Go Bears. Good win. Now, Washington football team, Falcons. Entertaining game. Pretty high scoring. Didn't really expect this from these two teams. Falcons had a last second drive. It fell flat. It's pretty impressive. They almost ran out of time. 1 second left. Throw it in to go anywhere, but Washington outplayed the Falcons. They were the better team. They're 2-2. Yeah, they got that one win off against the Giants. That field goal. This is their first big win, even though it was against the Falcons. Still a good dub. Good job. Good job. Keep that up. Well, we'll see if they're legit or not. Seahawks desperately needed a win for the Seahawks. The Seahawks started off 1-3. Their season would be in jeopardy before it began. 2-2 is much better position to be in than 1-3 or 0-4. So this was a desperately needed win against the 49ers. Um, I think this will make the NFC West race even more competitive. Right now, the Cardinals are up in front, the Rams, and I think these two will compete for probably a wild card spot. Um, but from what I've seen from the Seahawks, though, they might be in last place. But even in last place, if these four teams are all really good. But I don't know about the Seahawks, even though they got this win. But I would not be surprised if all four of these teams make the playoffs. But I don't really think that. I can see probably what would be a wild card. I can put Panthers probably being a wild card, and maybe the Bears. I hope, because I don't think they'll win the division, but I hope. And finally, this game proved my point. Cardinals are legit. After this statement win against a good team, a really good team, this is the best Cardinals team probably in my life since '09 when they went to the Super Bowl with the Steelers. But this time I think they're going to win. And for Arizona, that would be huge. All they have is that Diamondbacks World Series like 20 years ago versus the Yankees that they won, and since then they had uh, the uh, the Coyotes, which are hot garbage. Um, you have Diamondbacks, of course, and then you also got the Suns. They went to the finals this year against the Bucks and lost. Phoenix, as a Chicagoan, I've seen plenty of trophies. I got the dynasty of the Hawks, Cubs World Series, and then if I was born like 10, 15 years earlier, I would have been able to witness, Jordan and stuff. I was born like 83 or 78 or something. I'd have been, a teenager during the start of the Bulls dynasty. Yeah. Like if you were born in like 19, I don't know, 73 to 1969 or something. Um, 1975. If you were born around there, you would have got to experience a really good era of Chicago sports. Starts a little slow off, but you got the Bears Super Bowl in '85, then the Bulls dynasty in the '90s, and then White Sox World Series in '05, then the Hawks dynasty, then the Cubs winning it all. Now got a resurgence. All teams have a bright future. Even the Cubs who are rebuilding. It's good. Um, and with the Cardinals, I'm hoping. I love when teams win their first or a city wins their first. Um, Cardinals are one of the Arizona and Phoenix is one of the few cities that have all four, and they've only won once. Um, LA they've won plenty. Chicago, I want to win more obviously because I'm a Chicago fan, but we've won. Boston, they're spoiled rotten. So I'm rooting for you Cardinals. That is if the Bears don't make it. Because if the Bears make it, I'm rooting for the Bears, no one else, unless or until the Bears get eliminated. But I have a few in mind if the Bears don't make it. That's the Cardinals, Browns, Bills, um, and all three of at this point I think they're locks for the playoffs. So I'm gonna be rooting for these teams in the playoffs. I'll be happy if any of them win, but I'm more of a Browns because I have a lot of friends that are Browns fans, and they're like the lovable losers. They're like the Chicago Cubs of football. So I would love to see them win it all. Some of the best fans in sports. But yeah, week 4 recap. Thank you for watching. Oh, it's one of my longest videos. Damn. I'll see you guys later. Go Bears. This was a good week of football. Damn, I just ripped ass. See y'all.